And now Cecil County and the world, we're going to take our own Hannah Rodenbaugh, who used to work with us here at Cecil TV for 5 years, on camera, behind the camera, writing scripts, interviewing people. Hannah, welcome back home to your home away from home at Cecil TV.
Thanks, Rob.
It's great to see you, and it looks like you had a wonderful time for what we talked about out there in Idaho.
Yeah, I did. It's good to be home.
Huh?
It's good to be home, though.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet your family's happy to see you.
They are.
Now, you worked clearing trails as a trail crew boss with AmeriCorps workers, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's a nonprofit organization called the Student Conservation Association, but they're AmeriCorps eligible, so they're partnered with AmeriCorps.
Nice. And this was out. You told me about how big this place is. What was the name of it?
It's part of the Salmon Chalice National Forest, and then it's the largest wilderness area in the lower 48. It's called the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness. It's almost 2.5 million acres.
That sounds scary. You didn't see Bigfoot out there, did you?
I didn't. I saw some bears.
Yeah.
Saw some otters. No Bigfoot, though.
Now, when the bears, did they come up to your camp and try to eat your food, or?
No. I mean, we have a lot of, like, preventative measures that we have to take to keep them away, but didn't really see any too close for comfort.
So, for 3 months, you and your crew, and you said it was you and you had 11 on your crew, flown into this wilderness, 2,366,757 acres.
Yep.
I bet you that's bigger than Cecil County.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're out there with the bears and the otters and maybe Bigfoot, and you're clearing trails, right?
Yeah.
How do you clear a trail?
We check it out. Usually we'll get some kind of information going in. Since it's a national forest, we're partnered with the Forest Service staff.
Right.
So usually they know a little bit about what's going on, and they'll tell us before we get there. The main thing is to make sure there's not like trees down in the trail, or big rocks like that have tumbled down off the hillside into the trail. So we usually start there, and there's no power tools.
I was going to say, you just take your chainsaw and cut the tree up, right?
So there's, in the wilderness.
Ixnay, right?
No, there's no mechanical advantage or power tools. So we lug out a crosscut saw, which is like this 6-foot long, big saw. Like if you've seen the old pictures of the
handle on either end?
Yeah, the loggers like on the stump with the big saw. It's like that. So
just because you were the crew boss, it doesn't mean you didn't get on one end of the saw, right?
Yeah, quite the opposite actually. I did a lot of sawing and digging and all kind of things.
Well, it sounds like you really enjoyed it, and you helped out the Park Service and got to meet some nice young folks, similar-minded, helping out, doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice for, there may be some young folks between high school and college, or maybe want to take a gap year in college. How would they get involved in stuff like this?
I mean, there's tons of opportunities, like more and more all the time to work for the Park Service or the Forest Service, or just get involved with like a nonprofit like the organization that I work for. I would definitely recommend just going on the AmeriCorps website and checking it out. You can find all kind of programs like the program that I worked for. I had a few people that found it through the AmeriCorps site. And you can go on there and make a profile and put in some of your skills, and they'll actually email you programs.
I think I met a couple of AmeriCorps people when I was hiking over in, it was biking, over in Susquehanna State Park. Mm-hmm. They were chopping stuff up and clearing trail, but they had chainsaws. Yeah,
there's, well, in the we call it the front country. So when you're not in the wilderness, you can use that stuff. But yeah, I know there's some AmeriCorps positions at the C&O Canal National Historic Park, which is in Maryland. And then you can also check out just like Googling like Conservation Corps positions or environmental science or whatever field it is, stuff like that. There's tons of conservation corps groups, not just Student Conservation Association, but like a lot of the western states have their own, like Colorado, Montana, Utah, they all have conservation corps groups that people can get hooked up with.
So conservation is a good thing. Mm-hmm. There are some folks who I think don't understand that concept. They think wilderness should just be exploited and mined and logged and ranched upon. Why is conservation so important?
I mean, it's all about balance. There's a balance to preserving it for the future generations, because we only get one Earth. So we have to protect what we have so that, you know, we're not the last generation that gets to enjoy it.
Right.
But, you know, there is a balance to making sure that people can still make a living and get the natural resources that they need while also protecting it and using it in a responsible way. So, you know, if we want to keep enjoying the beautiful sights and being able to escape and have a quiet camping trip, you know, we have to put some effort into conservation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would just be mind-boggling to go where you went in the middle of 2 million plus acres of wilderness and just see, well, there's no faucet, there's no electricity. You were not allowed to have fires except for every now and then, right?
Yeah, you can only have fires in designated campgrounds in like a fire ring. And there aren't any in the wilderness.
Right.
So it's just about being like responsible and being prepared for what you're going to experience when you go out there. There's some really world-class whitewater rafting on the Salmon River, which goes through the Frank Church Wilderness, and thousands of people go through there every summer, but you wouldn't know it because, you know, the guests on the river are good about leaving no trace and being good visitors to the wilderness.
You know, you remind me, Hannah, of a couple things. First, when you went out there months ago, I said, send some pictures to Cecil TV. But I realized you can't send pictures. There's probably no internet service. There's no place to charge your phone. Yeah,
you're really become a little disconnected from like the real world.
I mean, you can't charge your phone out there. You didn't have solar phone chargers or anything, did you?
Some people do, but sometimes I choose not to bring stuff like that just so that I can kind of just be free of it. And
how did you communicate with base out in the wilderness?
We have radios. Okay. So we have Forest Service radios, and then we also have Garmin units. So they're like a GPS phone, and we would send a check-in to like our person back in town.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
And the other thing you reminded me of is Cecil County Around the World. We had our whitewater rafting trip in Colorado. My wife and I and some of her family. And I have video of that. I'll have to bring it in, show it.
Nice.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I never went whitewater rafting. It was really fun.
I never got a chance, but it looks really fun.
You're young yet, Hannah. Now you're going to do something you never did before too on your off season, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna be a professional ski bum.
Perfect.
Working at a ski resort in Montana through the winter. I'm going to learn how to ski, maybe learn how to snowboard. We'll see. Cool.
And now they'll probably have chargers and stuff out there. Maybe you could send us a little footage every now and then.
Yeah, it's a little more connected out there. So
awesome. Well, it sounds like after you do that, you're going to go back to trail clearing again?
Probably, yeah.
All right.
Get back out there.
Well, thank you for protecting the earth.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming back to see us. Always a pleasure.